Welcome to ETFinalScore.com, your source for all the highlight stats and stories and scores from around East Texas high school football, with your host, Eric Sullivan.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to week 2 of the East Texas high school football season. This is the ET Final Score football show. We had another big one over at Longview tonight. JT Lions in town. Also, we had our CBS 19 cameras all over the market, and the Panthers of Lufkin, of course, hosting Robert E. Lee. We also got the Tyler Paper guys going to join us on the phone. We want your help to be a part of the show. Best way to do it is on Twitter. At ET Final Score is the handle there, or you can shoot us a text at 903-216-7290. The Longview-John Tyler rivalry goes a long way back, but tonight a tale of different stories. The Longview Lobos stunned by Lufkin in a blowout last Friday, while the JT Lions gutted one out against Plano. The Lobo country we go. First drive, it's Gio McAllister of the John Tyler Lions. As we look at the quarterbacks, Desmond Chumley and Gio. This is Gio up in the air, but he is picked off, setting the tone for Longview. Jacorian Walker, way to go. It led to a Green Guys field goal that made it 3-0. More problems for the Lions. McAllister to Jeremy Wilson. Look out, ball comes loose. Stacy Nelson, Johnny on the spot to pick it up. And then JT defense, though, it would step up. Pierre Leonard, big sack on Desmond Chumley. The Lobos not able to score on the possession. Then Gio McAllister. Does anybody throw a better ball than that? 59 yards. Corey, look out there, buddy. To Nick Kane for the big touchdown, 7-3. We go to the second quarter now. McAllister, another deep pass to Duntavian Gross. The ball comes out, but they ruled it a catch, and the Lions would cash in. Cordarian Johnson, touchdown run, 14-3. Lobos would mount a drive there. Chumley working his magic. The Cravian Polk comes down with that. Unbelievable catch right there. And Longview would be threatening Desmond Dennis' run, but this is the way things are going right now for the Lobos. That is a fumble. And then Desmond Chumley would finish off the drive and get in there, making it 14-10 late. But this one belonged to the JT Lions. They get the victory, 41-25. And how about this? JT 2-0. Longview Lobos out of the top 10 polls and 0-2. For reaction tonight on this win, let's go back to Lobo Stadium. Our Jeff Schaefer has been there all game long. He joins us with some interviews from the victorious Longview Lobos. Jeff, it's all you.
Well, Eric, a huge win tonight for the John Tyler Lions. JT improves to 2-0 with a big victory over Longview. I'm joined now by actually the MVP of this game, as it was part of the Great American Rivalry Series, JT quarterback Gio McAllister. Gio, first of all, just talk to me. What does it feel like to get a win in this game and in a big rivalry game like this one over Longview?
Over the years, John Tyler Varsity hasn't beat Longview that many times, so it was just good for us to come out here and show that we're still the best.
Talk to me a little bit about how things kind of went as the game moved along, because, you know, early on, a few hiccups on offense, some turnovers, but it seemed like you guys righted the ship. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Early, I just think it was just the beginning of the game jitters. Like, we was slow, we wasn't focused, but we came together, we huddled up on the sideline of offense, and we got together and we started moving the ball.
All right, Gio, thanks so much. Congrats on the win and on the medal there.
Yes,
now I'm going to step to the man on my right, Isaac Warren. And the JT defense stepped up quite a bit today as well. Isaac, talk to me a little bit about just kind of how much momentum you feel like the D is able to give the entire team in a game like tonight.
Today, when we stepped up to the plate at the goal line, that's when I know that the D is really stepping up, because we've been working really hard at practice, doing tackle drills every day, so that's how I know the defense has a big impact in this game.
You had a big impact as well, returning a fumble for a touchdown. Talk to me about what the feeling's like on a play like that, being able to put your team, put some points on the board for your team.
Well, put some points on the board. It was kind of amazing that it was my first time doing it in a long time, probably like 8th grade year, but it was amazing how I got the fumble recovery and took it home.
What's it feel like to get this win over another big East Texas program like Longview?
Very exciting, because they are a great power football team, and I don't think they're going to lose any more games.
All right, well, Isaac, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it. Congrats on the win. So, Eric, a huge win tonight for the John Tyler Lions. JT improves to 2-0 on the season.
All right, thank you there, Jeff. Of course, JT and Lee next Friday night. Speaking of the Robert E. Lee Red Raiders, they did not have the start of the season they were hoping for. Lost that first game to Fossil Ridge. Things even more difficult tonight, having to go to the Abe. Lufkin blew out Longview last week. How would the Red Raiders do? And you know what? They hung into this game. Listen to Bill Coates and Kevin Simon on ESPN East Texas. But, man, Lufkin able to pull away. 43-19 is your final. Lee now 0-2. Chris Perry from the Tyler Paper and ETFinalScore.com website. Chris, as I mentioned, Lee was in this game. That score is kind of deceiving, isn't it?
I thought it was. They were down 13-0 in the blink of an eye, and it looked like it was going to be a long night here at Abe Martin Stadium. But Lee got a safety, and the defense started making plays, started forcing 3-and-outs. And next thing you know, Lee's in position to tie the game going in at halftime, and they get stopped, and they run out of their last time out. They didn't have enough time to even get the field goal team on, so they're still down by 7 to start the third quarter. They drive all the way down inside the 20 again, get stopped, and miss the field goal. And from that point on, it was almost like Lufkin gave you your chance, you didn't take it, and now the Panthers are just going to take control from this point forward.
Chris, I think it's noted that the Lufkin Panthers are a very good football team. They've taken care of Longview and Lee out of the gates. Impressed, right?
I was very impressed with Kiki Kuti, I can tell you that. Every time that Lee kicked the ball to him, either punting or kicking, it almost went for a touchdown, or it did go for a touchdown. He returned an 80-yard punt return for a touchdown on a rugby kick. Normally the rugby kick is designed to kick it away from the guy, and yet he still found a way to scoop it up and then go to the house. So special teams were something that Darryl Piskey talked to me afterwards, said that he was very disappointed, and they were going to get it cleaned up heading into John Tyler.
All right, JT Lee, Chris, of course, you'll be all about that game and with us all week long. Chris, thank you for the time. Once again, Lufkin victorious over Robert E. Lee. All right, this game right here, one of my favorites, Chapel Hill versus White House. Separated by the lake by just a few miles, and the intensity and offense is always on high alert. This game also is so big, it has to be played at Trina Brother Francis Rose Stadium. How about the thrill from Chapel Hill getting things going early? Reggie King out of the Wildcat formation. You can't take that guy down. Way to go, Reggie. That is 6-0 Chapel Hill. Connor Hitchcock. Great call by Coach Thomas Sitton. They go for the two-point conversion. They catch White House napping, and what a grab there by Zach Walters. 8-0 on the two-point conversion. And head coach Adam Cook a little bit concerned right out of the gates, but he's got Jackson Allen. This kid has really moved into that starting quarterback role and flourishing as we speak. Great ball, great catch by Trent Williams, play of the night nominee. And how about Eric Munoz from Jackson Allen? And Eric is as tough a cat as you'll find. He's a Wildcat, folks. 8-7. White House down by 1. Connor Hitchcock, though, a little greedy. That is the D1 talented Justin Dunning with the interception. In fact, Dunning would put on a show in the first half. Look at this hit on Reggie King. Oh, my goodness. I shot the big screen at Rose Stadium just to give you a slow motion look at how hard a hit that was. My goodness. But more defense here. How about this hit by Austin Gober getting Jacob O'Neal losing yardage on the punt then? Here comes Nate Brooks. Is this guy a showman or what? Flips around, and I thought he was going to get away from that and score. Anyway, big-time run right there. The Wildcat fans are pumped up. But, hey, Connor Hitchcock would not quit. Finds his man, Reggie King, and he says, I can get hit with the best of them. He takes it in, and they take a 15-7 lead. Jackson Allen on the 20-yard line. Here's my guy, Shamar Smith. What a breakout year a season ago. 80 yards. You're not catching Shamar. 80-yard touchdown, and this came down to the wire, folks. But White House, another offensive showdown over Chapel Hill, just like last year, 52-42. To Hallsville next. Bobcats beat Carthage last Friday night. Knack Dragons in town. Both teams looking to go 2-0. The Bobcats, here we go. Early on, Wyatt Wolverton gets the pass off to Khalil Sneed, and he'll get the first down right there. Good job by Sneed. Then Kelly Colvin almost runs over everybody here, trying to get it going there. That's going to make it a field goal. Wolverton up the middle, and they would get that field goal in this one to put them up 3 points on the board. Nacogdoches is Hunter McClendon. Intended for Bryce Matthews, but K.Y. Kaunte kicks the ball out there. Good defensive play. Then Nacogdoches McClellan hands off to Rondo Tolbert. Fumble costs the Dragons the ball. Hallsville's Lance Hardman would pick it off and take it in for 7. And then Wolverton's going to hand it off to Jacob Taylor once and again. That would give them the touchdown right there. 9-0. Here comes Knack. They answer. McClellan makes a good pass. What a play right there to Ken Rogers. gets it into the score. This one, comes down to the final seconds, and the Knack Dragons, man, they just know how to win football games. What a game. 37-36 over Hallsville. That is your final score. To beautiful Pine Tree Pirate Stadium. Next, Gilmer Buckeyes in town. Pine Tree started off pretty good right here. Kenny Ward passes to Dustin Fields, number 9, for a 45-yard pass right here. So way to go, Mason Hayes and company. But back comes, that's the 45-yard pass. Dustin Fields from Kenny Warren. I'm sorry right there. That would make it a 7-7 ball game. Mason Hayes now going to keep it himself. This is a tough guy. Great wide receiver last year. Now he's playing quarterback. He gets 30 yards before a gang. Look how many Gilmer Buckeyes it takes to take Mason Hayes down. You're my guy right there. And then he would run it in. You know, this is easy for him, only having to take out 2 guys. That would give him another touchdown. But here comes the train, the touchdown train. Blake Lynch, stellar game last week in his Gilmer Buckeye debut. 30 more yards right there. And then Kenny Ward would hand off to DeMarco Boyd. And Mr. Boyd gets in untouched. All Gilmer in this one. Final score, 68-20. My goodness, Gilmer is tough this year. Other scores from around East Texas. Marshall 50-15. They win. Sulphur Springs 41-0 over Sherman. Athens 42-7 over Diboll. Van all over Spring Hill 46-7. Henderson 28-24. They fall to Atlanta. Maybank falls hard to Canton. Way to go, Eagles. They get a big win. Rusk and Crockett postponed. And then Center 32, Boona 42. That is a final in that one. First break right now. Tons of highlights coming up, including a check-in on Lindale and Carthage. ETFinalScore.com. You're looking right at it. What a cool website we have. Best looking scoreboard around. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, over at Carthage tonight. The opposite of what you may think. The Lindale Eagles, big win over Chapel Hill last week. Meanwhile, the defending state champion Carthage Bulldogs, bad loss to Hallsville, but in a barn burner. It's Carthage on their home field there, getting a tough win, 22-13. Luckily, Clay Allo from the ETFinalScore.com contributor joins us from Bulldog Stadium. And Clay, this is 2 teams that had different contrasts going into the game, but Carthage needed a victory, and they got it. But, hey, Lindale's no joke, are they?
No, they're not. Like you said, Carthage gave up about 330 yards rushing to Hallsville this week and came in with a different attitude on defense and forced Lindale to punt, I think, 8 times in this game. Only allowed about 8 first downs. So the defense really came out flying around, and the offense was able to put up enough points to get the job done.
Hey, for our Lindale viewers right now, what did you see out of Coach Metter's group? They had a great win over Chapel Hill last week. They just seem to really be taking a step in the right direction because they're in that upper 5A classification now.
Yes, I know they're in a tough district, and they seem to be able to move the ball well, in the pass or in the run. Aaron Jackson ran the ball well tonight. He's obviously their stud at running back, and Neely's definitely a threat to throw the ball or run it.
Carthage got next week, Clay?
Home against Nacogdoches.
Oh, boy, Nacogdoches on fire. Another gutty win tonight. Clay, thank you, man. We'll talk to you next Friday. The Jacksonville Indians are starting to right the ship after a forgetful 2013 season. Star quarterback Carter McCowan has helped the Fighting Indians off to a nice start. Got the win over Pine Tree last week, trying to go to 2-0 on the young season. Early on, Palestine in town, and they were trying to make a little bit of a statement right here as they were the visitors at the tradition-rich Tomato Bowl. Early on, Carter McCowan, I love the way he just runs the offense. Kind of my East Texas version of Aaron Rodgers. Same number. He can run, scramble, and he can throw it too. We'll show you that in just a second. Great job there by Carter McCowan. Now, G. Clark is going to take it for the Palestine Wildcats, and he's going to try and make something out of nothing, just spinning around like crazy. Gets pushed out of bounds, but a good job right there. This time, G's going to say, I don't like getting hit all that, so I'm just going to try to get it out to my guys, and he would fire it up to Devin Lomax, and the big guy, Lomax, touchdown. Palestine on the boards. Back come the Fighting Indians. Carter McCowan, look how, is he not Aaron Rodgers? I think it's him. What a ball right there to Micah Edwards. Way to go, Carter and Micah, and the Fighting Indians looking good in this one. Final score, 49-14. Over in Brownsboro tonight, Bears hosting the Bullard Panthers. Bullard trying to get to 2-0 on the year. How about Brownsboro's Will Thompson? 15-yard run right there. Great job. I'll tell you what, this Brownsboro group can actually run the football. That's Will Bailey, too. Kenneth Woods, big guy, freshman. This is Damian Thompson going for 15 more. They've got another running back. This is Tamarick Pace. And Tamarrick's got 42 yards in him as he keeps it on the sideline, and he takes it into the house. Touchdown, Brownsboro Bears. And, hey, Coach Hooker says we're going for 2 right here. Wyatt Reinhardt is going to get in. Way to dive in there, showing some hustle. 8-0. Brownsboro with the lead. But here come the Bullard Panthers. Connor Meebane running the offense. Brentavian Henderson, 48 big yards. Almost breaks it and takes it to the house, but gets dragged down. This time Meebane goes to Jarrett Alsobrook, and he's going to get in for the score. Takes a big hit, but the Panthers are on the board. It's now 8-7. More Connor Meebane as he's trying to just get his team with the lead this time, handing off to Chris Bradford. Jarrett Alsobrook, the little guy, making things happen. That's good for 5 more yards. This time Meebane says, everybody's getting to run and do all this fun stuff. I'm going to take off this time as he scrambles around to the right side. Go, Connor, go. That would get them back into the end zone. That was 28 yards right there. He would later sneak it in for the score. So Connor Meebane and the Bullard Panthers rolling right along. 51-16 is your final score. Over at the Jack tonight, the mighty Gladewater Bears. They are some kind of team this year. They got that gutsy win over Dangerfield last week. Here we go. It's going to be a big touchdown right off the bat for the Nick Carringer. Finds Caleb Williams for the touchdown, 7-0. Then more Nick Carringer, this time to the right side to Cameron Callaway. He takes it in, and it's 14 snap just like that. Pittsburgh never really had a chance in this one. Their quarterback, Caleb Banks, drops back for the punt, tries to fake it, and it's not happening. Quintarius Turner says, I am Superman, takes him down. On the reverse right here, more Gladewater Bears. I mean, they were flirting with 100 tonight, folks. Cameron Caraway, see you later. Look at this score, folks. 77-14 is your final score. All right, let's head over to the Tyler Paper headquarters where the rookie, that's right, he's our rookie here at the ETFinalScore football show. Trevor Pill joins us from the Tyler headquarters. Trevor, you found some pretty cool stuff last Friday. What do you got for week 2 tonight via Twitter for us?
Well, it's been a great week 2 for Underneath the Lights, Eric. Tonight, what exploded on Twitter comes from the Lobo community. Now, as you showed earlier, the Lobos lost 41-25 to John Tyler in the 13th annual Greenout game. But all their excitement came from before the game when running back Jermichael Hasty for the Lobos was awarded his jersey for the Semper Fidelis All-American Bowl game, which we played January 4th in Carson, California. Now, the cool thing about this is that Hasty is the first player in the nation to receive his jerseys. Most players know if they're going to be in the game, but it's cool to see that the awarding started here in East Texas. My other story comes from Jacksonville. Jacksonville went 0-10 last year. This year, they have started off 2-0 behind quarterback Carson McCowan, who must be taking lessons from his 2 cousins in the NFL, Josh and Luke.
Well, I tell you what, Trevor, we just showed the highlights. I think it's Aaron Rodgers back when he was in high school. That's what Carter McCowan looks like to me. All right, cool stuff with Jermichael Hasty. Trevor, we just got to get that guy on the football field, okay, buddy?
Yes, sir.
All right, great job there from Trevor Peel from the Tyler Paper headquarters. All right, we're going to get to some scores real quick here. Go back to that, Jack, and then we're going to get into the private schools. Some scores from tonight. Let's start with ARP and U Springs. ARP, congratulations, Coach Irwin. We got to get those guys on TV. We will next Friday, 16-14. Waiting on our West Rusk and Union Grove tomorrow. Big win for White Oak, 56-6. Dangerfield goes down tonight, folks. Malakoff, 39-14. Mineola falls to Winsboro, 30-27. Wascom, 63-12 over Paul Pewitt. And Frankston, congratulations to the Frankston Indians. They take it 29-23. That's your final score. We just showed Trevor Pill and how good he is at Twitter over at the Tyler Paper and ETFinalScore.com website. You're looking live at our big board, and we've got it pulled up so you can see it. Look at our camera guys, Corey and Fabian, always wanting some airtime. Hey, they're good guys. More highlights coming up. All right, we're talking during the break about the Brook Hill Guard. Hey, they were playing a terrific small school, the Tenaha Tigers, at Harrington Stadium. Let's get right to the highlights. A lot of state championships between these two. Early on, it's going to be T.J. Thomas handing off to number 20, Colby Caraway. Oh, this Tenaha just always has these super ultra fast guys, and Colby is certainly one of those as he gets the touchdown right here. Grant Hanks, outstanding week one, over 400 yards passing. Early on, though, had a little bit of a rough start. Rolls out to his right, throws it up, and that is going to be picked off by Alex Hell. Colby Caraway plays offense and defense. It was intended for Alex Hell, so Caraway gets it there. This time, Thomas is going to pass to Kit. Alec over the shoulder. Great job. Great job there as he hauls it in. And then it's going to be Thomas keeping it this time himself. He said, man, Colby's getting a lot of love from the ETFinalScore group, so I'm going to keep it myself. Look at him. Stiff arm his guy. Get his hand down. Takes a hard hit, but he gets out of bounds. This time, though, he's going to get Grant Hanks fired up as he goes deep on a line, on a rope. Seth Brazier, one of the best pair of hands in all of East Texas. Ty Overbeek would come in and get the field goal down to the wire, but Tenaha on the road. What a game tonight, 21-15 is your final score. Grace looking to bounce back against New Diana tonight. Chandler Nutt on a little flip right here to Mesa, to his buddy right there, Johnny Spitzer, for the touchdown. That was pretty easy for the Cougars right there. This time, Nutt's going to pass it out to his left to Spitzer again, and look at Johnny go. Johnny Grace football. We'll nickname him that right there. He gets out of bounds, and Zach Tatman would take over from here. No, he wouldn't. Actually, that's going to be Mason Dacus almost getting in for the end zone. Now, Mr. Zach Tatman would take it in. Had a big, big run right here. Cuts to his left, back to his right, and then he would go on to take it in. One play later, Grace Cougars off to a pretty solid start. Final score in this one, 62-20. Let's go over to TK Gorman taking on Gorman. This is actually New Boston. We'll show a few of those real quick. It's okay, guys. Early on in this one, Keemon Freeman passes the ball all the way downfield to Malcolm Grant. Here he is. He's going to catch it and takes it in stride for the score right there. That is Malcolm Grant from Keon Freeman. Big touchdown there for the Leopards right there. If we can, guys, final score in this one. Let's go ahead and pop it up real quick between these two. 17-14 your final. Let's get TK Gorman in real quick if we can. All right, they're telling me to go to break here. We'll figure it all out, but we do got your TK Gorman highlights coming up in just a moment. We'll check in with them right after this break and give you some other final scores. We'll be right back. TK Gorman Crusaders on the field. Here we go. A little dump off from Michael Goodwin to Martin Guzman. And look at Martin go. That's how you do it, Crusaders, to start the game. Big touchdown run right there. Big night for the Crusaders. 50-9 is your final score. Way to go, Mr. Goodwin and the Crusaders. 50-9 your final. All right, let's get to our play of the night real quick. We go back to Rose Stadium. Go ahead and roll it here, Jack. Jackson Allen for the White House Wildcats up top, and that is Trent Williams hauling it in. Great hands, great ball. Congratulations for our play of the night. Jack, roll those scores for you. Let's get a couple more in. Alba Golden wins 37-13. Grand Saline falls to Winona 48-42. Edgewood 55-6. They win Big Sandy 38-14. One more page real quick, guys. Harleton 28-18. Beckville 49-13. Of course, you get it all at etfinalscore.com. We'll see you next Friday for week number 3.